they don't really have a time to get off, right?
They don't. I'll pay you $100 to work the door. And I was like, shoot, $100? I'm in, I'm your girl.
Did you realize what I was actually doing at that time?
I had zero idea.
Unfortunately, it's not always the case.
That's right.
We lose a lot of good agents because of a negative spouse or somebody that just doesn't see the vision.
So I told my agent, I was like, hey, look, one king size bed, we're going to have to spoon all night. Just don't worry about it. We're here for work.
I know recently you've been doing a little bit of telesales. Do you have a favorite?
That's crazy that I even looked at that kind of income as I made a lot of money.
How does it feel being able to pay all your bills in a couple of days?
It feels amazing, actually.
You got an agent in Nebraska who's absolutely killing it, and that's not close. How do you manage somebody so far away that is brand new in the business as well? Welcome to my show of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, where we hear from regular people who got tired of living their ordinary lives and were not afraid to make that jump.
You gotta be different. You can't be doing what everyone else is doing. You gotta create action. You gotta create momentum. So I'm looking for demand and I'm looking for mentorship because I wanted to know everything my mentor knew.
People who are just like you and me. Hello, my name is David Price. If you see something you like, please hit the thumbs up or hit the subscribe button to follow our content and hit that little bell if you want notifications. Today, we're in Lafayette, Louisiana, filming another episode of Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things. And I have here Miss Valerie. How you doing, Valerie?
Hey, David, I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great. Super pumped to have you on the show. We're going to talk about Valerie. She went from being a server to being an agent, didn't you?
I did. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the server world. You were a server for how long?
All my life. That's pretty much all I know.
Oh, so you worked at different restaurants, serving tables, banquets, anything exciting we should know?
I meet new people, but I spent many hours in the restaurant industry, day in and day out.
So I always give servers a lot of credit. I feel like one, it's basically like being an entrepreneur, right? Because you can control your income to an extent, correct? Right? You're working for tips, so obviously the more clients or customers you see, the more tips you get, right?
Absolutely.
Also, servers, what else I see that they do is they don't really have a time to get off, right?
They don't.
Right, you get off when it's slower or something, right?
You get off whenever either the restaurant closes and all your side work is done. You still have to clean up your section, fill salt, sugars, stuff of that nature, roll silverware, make sure the restaurant is prepped for the next shift.
Yeah, so it's not like a 9 to 5, right?
It is not.
Right, yeah, I remember, so I worked in a small mom and pop pizza place. And people, that's when I was very social and I was going out and meeting friends. They're like, what time do you get off? I'm like, I'm first man out.
Yeah, whatever time
that's all I can
is.
tell you. I'm first man out. What does that mean? Well, if we get slow at 4 o'clock, they're gonna let me leave. But if we don't get slow to 7 o'clock, they let me leave. And
right.
That's what it was. But again, servers very hard workers, very flexible, and I always think servers have a lot of characteristics and qualities that help them be very successful as an entrepreneur. And I think you're living proof of that. What do you think?
I believe so, for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, right, you went from a server and then all of a sudden you're an insurance agent. Let's talk about that in between time. How did that happen? Do you remember the process?
I do. I remember very well working waiting tables. And I told him that, I just wanted to work 9 to 5. I don't want to work nights. I don't want to work weekends. I have 2 kids that I love to, hang out with to their extracurricular activities or whatever they have going on. And you reached out and was like, hey, look, I've got this opportunity meeting, coming to Lafayette. I'll pay you $100 to work the door. And I was like, shoot, $100? I'm in, I'm your girl. Like I took off that day. It was about 3 or 4 times, I think, that we did that.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, great, $100, quick, bang. Just stand up at the door, greet people. Hey, how you doing? And I was great with it. Went home, did my,
easy money.
Yeah, mama duties, I was like, I made $100 today. I'm great, And then, I started seeing you hiring people and growing a team. And I was kind of like, well, my fiance needs life insurance. So David, come get him some coverage. And that's when you proposed the opportunity to me, and I was like, all right, you helped me get signed up for the course, which took me 2 months to complete. But here I am.
So when I was paying you the $100 to come help me greet people at the door, did you realize what I was actually doing at that time?
I had zero idea. I was just there for the money.
Do you know do you know now what I was doing?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
So again, like hard worker, great with people, good personality, positive mindset. I thought you'd be an asset, and the thing is, people don't know what they don't know.
Correct.
And you got to figure out ways to get them exposed to it. And $100 to have you say hi to people at the door seemed like a really good investment for me at the time. Seemed like a really good investment for you.
Absolutely.
And this is what happened. So, all right. So we got your fiance, Brandon, who's amazing. And one thing about Brandon is super, super supportive from day one.
Absolutely.
So how do you make him so? Did you build him that way? Did you train him that way, or was he just always supportive of you?
He's actually always been pretty supportive of me and any of my crazy ideas that I might come up with, or vacations, or whatever. I mean, after 16 years, you learn to work together instead of colliding heads. So pretty much, he's always been very supportive of me, and he knows that what I'm doing is either best for my family, or for me, or for our children. So that definitely helps.
And, it's so important, right? We bring on agents all the time. And, if there's a spouse or a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, or something, it's so important for them to be supportive. Unfortunately, it's not always the case.
That's right.
We lose a lot of good agents because of a negative spouse or somebody that just doesn't see the vision and don't see. So again, big kudos to Brandon for just always supporting you.
Absolutely, I agree.
And then also, I know Brandon was the breadwinner for so long, right?
He was.
And there was a time where he got laid off, correct?
Absolutely.
And what happened there? Did you panic?
Nope, not at all. I just told him that he would have to help pick up mom duties and, wash dishes, fold clothes, clean the house, take the kids to soccer or whatever it needed to be. And that I could make 3 times what he was making.
Did he believe you?
Absolutely. He just knew that I needed to go to work.
Right.
There was a lot of times that I took off because I had other priorities that came up that I had to tend to. So he knew that I could make the income. And he went take a very low-paying job local so he could be home more often to take care of those duties while I went to work. And here we are a year later, and I'm still grinding it out, Nothing's changed, really.
That's awesome. So again, you're doing a great job. As a producer, you're amazing, but now you have some pretty successful producers that you trained and mentored and hired. How does that feel?
Feels amazing, really does. I actually get to spend more time with my kids. However, I do still go to work. I do know that I have to do the activity for them to follow with me, and it feels great to be alongside with them to do it.
And you, not just local agents, but I think you got an agent in Nebraska who's absolutely killing it, and that's not close. How do you manage somebody so far away that is brand new in the business as well?
I make sure that I'm available to her at any time of the day when she calls. I try to be as supportive as I can to make sure that she knows that what she's doing is right, or if not, to reach out, and I'll walk her through the process. But I make sure that at all times that she has questions or answers, that she calls me,
Awesome. Yeah, you're doing a great job. It's one thing when you mentor someone that's you're close to, but somebody, that far away, that's brand new. Obviously, you're doing a really good job. I know you guys just went over to Cato Parish.
Yes.
I know you went over there, helped a whole bunch of people. Was that fun? You made that fun, it looked like.
It was definitely a fun trip. I've always said that if I plan something out, it's going to be a disaster. So we kind of just rolled with the punches. We had a reservation for a hotel at 8:30 p.m. We had no hotel, had to find a hotel. which happened to be Morgan Wallen concert going on and no hotel rooms available. And so I told my agent, I was like, hey, look, one king size bed, we're going to have to spoon all night. Just don't worry about it. We're here for work. But we had a blast. We stayed in touch. She went her way to take care of her leads and I did the same. We banged out probably about 6,000 in production within 2 days.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Absolutely killing it. It looks like you're having a lot of fun. Would you say the same? I
enjoy what I do. Absolutely.
So I think when you were a server, you said the same thing. Is it different?
It is very different. I like meeting new people. I like having that conversation with them, trying to, get into their lives. What do you enjoy, and merging with them. But being at the table in the restaurant is a lot different than actually being in their home.
Right.
And being face to face. So whenever I do travel, I have those clients that I can call and pop in and have coffee with or go meet for lunch, which makes it so much easier. So, I just enjoy it.
You're awesome. So I know most the sales that you do is in the field, right? We have a lot of telesales agents and people that sell on the phone. I know recently you've been doing a little bit of telesales. Do you have a favorite? Are you doing telesales? What's the thought process there?
So I love the field. 100% my heart is in the field. As everybody knows, my heart goes to my kids. I have 2 and I vowed to be there through everything that they do. So I know that those times when I can't make that 3-hour drive, that I can hop on the phones and take some live transfers and, within an hour make enough money to either pay the bills for the week or the month, So, I have an office set up at home and I have that ability to be flexible for myself and my family, which is great.
So how does it feel being able to pay all your bills in a couple of days?
It feels amazing, actually.
Were you able to do that when you're a server?
No.
What about banquets? You told me you made a lot of money doing banquets.
No, I wasn't. I made a lot of extracurricular activity money. Luckily, Brandon was the breadwinner and paid majority of the bills, So I was like, hey, I'm going to get my nails done, and it was great. But now it feels great. I have everything like auto draft. I don't have to worry about overdrafting. Right. I made a big purchase yesterday. So that feels great to be able to do those things for sure.
So it's auto draft and having everything on autopilot, is that like the best thing in the world? And not have to worry about like, oh wait, am I gonna have enough to pay? Like just like not looking at your account?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. It's so funny because I remember when you started with us and I remember you're like, yeah, I make a lot of money doing banquets. I'm still gonna do banquets, Dave. I'm just letting you know right now.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's see how that goes. And I believe you never actually did a banquet.
I did not. I was very dedicated to the Chevrolet group that would come in and have their monthly meetings, and I knew everybody's order. I'd get it out. It was quick, 4-hour, day job. And I made roughly $150 on this.
Big bucks.
Yeah, on this party. And I just enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
And the people make a difference for sure. But since I started and got licensed and, started rolling on my first app, I was like, I don't need banquets at all. Like that's crazy that I even looked at that kind of income as I made a lot of money.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? There's different levels because I've been reaching different ones and stuff like that. You start realizing that there's just so much more if you expand yourself and like open up your mind to it.
Right. So, serving, basically, you have a cap, right? There's only so far that you can go, only so many days a week that you can work, only so many hours per shift that you can work. And I was pretty much maxed out from a previous job as a restaurant manager. And so I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't work those hours. And so I was humble enough to walk away with my $150. I probably made $500 biweekly, if that, okay? And now, there's so much that I can grow, so much that I can make within a day, a week. I'm in control of that. And that's a lot better to fit my situation than what I was doing prior.
Better. So if there's some servers watching this, I'm sure there's going to be plenty. What's the message that you have for them? What do you want to tell them?
If you're looking for a different job and to make money and pay some bills, definitely reach out for sure.
That's it. So they can reach out to you, Valerie?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So okay, so you learned how to sell insurance, you gave up the serving, you even gave up banquets, you got some successful agents, you're growing nationwide.
Yes.
Right. So what's the next step? Where are we going? Where are we heading, Valerie?
I'm trying to be a $1 million earner.
There you go. $1 million in a year or in a month?
In a year, in a month.
In a year, in a month?
All of it. Yes. All of it.
it.
Yeah.
That's
you
awesome.
know, I'm just going to keep working and producing and giving back to those coming into the business and teaching them the ropes of it. That's basically what I look forward to.
Awesome. What are some things that you feel like might be holding you back or that held you back in the past?
Definitely.
I got a smirk out of you.
Because we all know. I had some life changes that actually pulled my attention away that I invested in, which didn't need my full investment. Mm-hmm. I've learned that today that I have to do for myself and continue growing my business and just get rid of the distractions, really.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's I've seen a lot of change, you definitely had life happens, right? It happens to all of us, and sometimes I feel like it happens to some people more than others, or more things happen in a shorter period of time, and you dodged and weaved all through that, and
by my hardest, but I did.
And here we are, and it's just really cool seeing the recent new commitment from you. Not that you weren't committed before, but again, there's levels, and just seeing that, how much more committed you are for yourself, and your agents, and seeing, where you're going and stuff, and seeing you get yourself uncomfortable.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
See you nervous. I love watching you nervous.
I know.
So what were you thinking before the podcast?
I just wanted to make sure that I wouldn't pass out while sitting right here. Yes.
That's awesome. So obviously this been a lot different for you. What is your favorite part about all this?
All of it wrapped into one. I really enjoy the support that we receive from everybody. Of course, I enjoy the money. I enjoy learning new things and pushing myself to limits that I didn't know that I could actually perform at.
So how important is mentorship to you?
It's very important. Being in a new career path, should I say, I need to make sure that there's somebody strong enough for me to reach out to help me navigate these new waters. It's totally different than what I've ever done before. So I need somebody there to be positive and to walk me through the steps that I need to get to be where I want to be in life.
Awesome. Do you have any heroes or anything that you look up to?
Oh, I absolutely do.
You do? Who's your hero?
Yeah. I look up to you for sure,
Appreciate that.
But I do follow Jen and Bianca a lot,
That's awesome.
They go-getters.
Well, I want to thank you for being on the show, Valerie.
Thank you, David, for having me.
Absolutely. So if there's something that you saw that you liked, throw it in the comments. If there's something that you want to see or some videos that you want to see, throw it in the comments. We'll make that video for you. Again, if you liked it, hit the little thumbs up. If you want to see new content coming out, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so you get notifications. And this has been another episode of Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things with David Price.